What's your boy phone another reaction? In today's video, we have NFL logos and uniforms that they tried to erase by deep in the field.
Uniform redesigns that wow us, frustrate the hell out of us, and some that never make it to the field. In all respect, we know that the design departments of NFL teams put a lot of behind the scenes work into ideating and executing certain uniform looks from concept to actually showcasing it and featuring it in a game. So when teams opt to never wear certain looks that have been promoted and featured in a new uniform rollout, fans can't help but wonder why and what happened. The first that comes to mind is the 49ers botched attempt at a redesign in 1991. It was February of that year when they unveiled a stylized, blocky 49ers text logo with a thick black drop shadow and random red back.
Well, I'm on fucking Twitter.
Designed in 1991.
That's
it was February
trash.
of that year.
Bro, that was trash. It's 49. I'm glad they picked that shit. That shit dookie.
Fans can't help but wonder why and what happened. The first that comes to mind is the 49ers botched attempt at a redesign in 1991. It was February of that year when they unveiled a stylized, blocky 49ers text logo with a thick black drop shadow and random red background, which still looks hideous today. And apparently I would have been in the majority back then because the people hated it. And when I say hated, I mean they raised such an uproar that the owner at the time, Eddie DeBartolo, scrapped it after just 6 days. I mean, can you blame the fans? Going from this to that? No, sir.
Yeah, why you had to put that 49ers on the helmet? Just keep the SF San Fran.
Not this prize franchise. So, the people spoke, the team listened, and they haven't made an attempt to change their logo ever since. Goes to show there is power of the people. The 1997 Jags are another one. That year, they wore jerseys with drop shadow numbers during the preseason, but had to change them before the regular season due to legibility concerns. And looking back, I can see why. Some of the players' numbers
those ain't that bad.
were narrow, others were spaced too wide, and it sort of had the vibes of little rec league teams I used to play back in the day. You'd have teams where half the players got black game pants and black helmets, the other half got white practice pants and white helmets, sprinkle another kid with a random blue helmet, and it just looked tacky as hell. So in the NFL, of course you can't have stuff like that going on. And thank goodness, because these Prowler uniforms are one of the best NFL uniforms in history. I wouldn't put it in my top 5.
That's cool.
But it's definitely up there. The Browns are another one, as they once tried to wear orange numbers on their jerseys back in 1984. But that look only made it through preseason as the NFL decided it didn't work.
I like it though. Like, that ain't that bad. I like it.
Well on TV at the time. So as you can see,
That's hard. Shit look hard to me.
There's instances we don't get uniform looks because they're forced out by the fans, or the NFL steps in and says hell to the no. But sometimes you have teams deciding not to wear a look. Washington Redskins fans still
those ugly. That mustard, those ugly.
wonder what those color rush jerseys would have looked like under the lights. If you forgot or simply don't know, let me remind you. Nike designed an all-gold color rush set for Washington back in 2016. It was gold jerseys, gold pants, and gold accessories, looking like a hot honey.
That ain't really gold. That's like yellow. That's yellow,
mess.
bro.
And rumor has it, no one from top to bottom was feeling this look at all, so they simply opted not to wear it. And the league kind of threw them a bone, too, by not scheduling them for a color rush slot that year. But in 2017, when the time came for them to be featured in a color rush game against Dallas, simply Washington requested and received league approval to rock an all burgundy look instead. They hated that all gold look so much that they even...
Again, that nigga Trent Williams was on the Washington. The boy was in Washington for some years. He was drafted up, man.
Went so far as to
move to the 49ers and still come win the Super Bowl.
Propose a rule change to let teams opt out of color rush, only to rescind the request later once the NFL quietly gave them some flexibility, leaving the gold design as a pure retail-only uniform. And come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen any fan wear a gold Redskins jersey.
Yeah.
That's just me. I'm interested to know if any one of you out there or somebody you know got that all gold jersey. And then you have the mysterious cold cases that had never been solved and are only a result of the educated guesses of folks as to what truly happened. The Falcons happen to be the prime suspect to this example. During their 2020 redesign, marketing images clearly showed red pants as part of the mix with black, white, and gradient jerseys. Despite being part of the official catalog and sold at retail, the red pants were never worn in a regular season game or preseason matchup for that matter, making it a ghost element of the set. And why is that? It could have been an on-brand thing, seeing as how Falcons only wore red pants in a game once in their entire history, and that was in 2017 for Color Rush, so technically that doesn't even count. But if we look further into the details of the design, we can make more educated guesses. The first is the fact the stripe of the red pants didn't match cleanly with any of the main jerseys, as both home and away jerseys had a red stripe. And those pants came with the black stripe, so it's clear whoever designed these didn't think it all the way through. I mean, I totally get if you wanted to do red pants, you're going to have to go with black or white stripe. And in their case, black makes the most sense. But when paired with any jersey, it just looks awkward and it doesn't read well on field. Honestly, if they really wanted to go with the red pants, they should have did away with the stripe altogether. Not saying it would have looked all that better, but it might have been a bit more manageable. It definitely lets you know stacking between the helmet, jersey, pants, and socks is extremely important when it comes to uniform cohesion. The next plausible reason we never saw the red pants was due to their aesthetic preference. Since 2020, the Falcons have leaned heavily into black and white, sprinkle a little gray in there, which immediately evokes those earlier eras like the Dirty Bird look. And anyone with some sense can
Yeah. I'm a Saints fan. F these dirty birds.
see that red simply deviates away from that vibe. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Black in a uniform is always intimidating. At least that's what it's meant to be. It makes you look bigger, fiercer, and that could very well be what they wanted. Too bad it didn't translate on the field, but the intent was there. And when it comes down to it, the coaches, the equipment staff, or the higher ups maybe just didn't prefer any combination with the red pants. Now, my final guess is attributed to the array of alternates they already had. The fact they had so many options in their primary rotation. We're talking white on white, black on black, white over black, black over white. Then you throw in their throwback, not to mention the gradient. So there really was no pressure to force more looks into the rotation, and I can see how the decision makers simply felt like it would be overkill to bring the red pants out, and hence why we never got them. So, in the end, you see, despite teams having looks that exist on paper or were promoted at the launch of a rebrand, those looks can be stowed away deep in the closet and never worn, or simply scrapped and forgotten altogether. Sometimes things seem good in theory, but the execution is off.
I liked this Jaguar jersey. I liked it.
Other times, it's just plain bad from start to
These was trash.
finish. I will say this. If any of you have found a way to get your hands on any of these items, keep them because you don't know. They may be
Yeah.
worth something later on. But speaking of
Nah, that shit probably worth some now, especially that 49ers helmet. If you got that,
the Falcons, we're looking forward
we gonna look that up. If a nigga got that shit on eBay.
to the official reveal of their new uniforms coming up here shortly. We covered their complete uniform history and what to expect for this new design in a previous video. So check that out if you haven't already.
Let's see.
We also got the Commanders revealing their new primary uniform shortly after the Falcons. So ever since who spoke that race
What year this was?
better read why and blocky 49
1991. Let me see. Let's see. This is one day. Somebody asked. This shit ain't showing my damn location. Nah, it don't look like nobody had that bitch. Yeah, I got pissed bad. Make sure I come subscribe and I'm out. Deuces.